citizens on the laws related to traffic safety.
Welcome back to Police Beat. Our traffic safety team implemented the Crosswalk Safety Program. This program began through a combined effort between the Gainesville Police Department, the Alachua County Sheriff's Office, and the University of Florida Police Department. It involves several levels of compliance to include enforcement, engineering, education, and data collection. The agency involved made sure that the crosswalks in their jurisdictions were properly marked to include adding additional signs to ensure that drivers and pedestrians were aware of the crosswalks. Next, it was important to educate the public on the laws pertaining to pedestrians. So several months were spent on just the educational aspects of the program. Let's take a look.
My name is Dr. Lewis, and I'm an adjunct lecturer here in construction engineering at the University of Florida. And I got involved in a project early on. We had over 100 pedestrians were struck by vehicles over a 2-year period. Former UF professors started a safety Center for Education, Research, and Safety, and they applied for a National Highway Traffic Safety Administration research grant to see if we couldn't improve the yielding at crosswalks here in Gainesville because we had so many incidents. In front of Gainesville High School, there was a cheerleader that had been struck and killed. Several students had been struck. So we set out to kind of canvass Gainesville and pick some sites that needed some improvements. Then we began what we called the enforcement phase, where we set up the police, working with Sergeant Rollerson, the Gainesville Police Department. We staged some crossings and monitored vehicular traffic, and then issued warnings to cars that were not complying with the law. And on that warning, it had a description of how the law reads. And after several months of issuing warnings, we began ticketing. We started to see a dramatic increase in the number of vehicles that were yielding to pedestrians. Before the project really kicked off, we did a probe and we sent the data collectors out to collect data before any improvements had been made and before the ticketing process had started. And we found yielding to be about 20 to 30%. Began to make the improvements, and we started to see a steady rise in the percentage of vehicles that were yielding. And now that the study is over, it ended Monday, we have almost complete compliance now. The yielding rate at most locations, especially on campus, is 90 to 100%.
Data collectors like I am go back and forth at crosswalks to collect information how often people yield or don't yield. And at this crossing zone, 11th and 15th, the yield rate at the beginning was maybe 50% that people would stop. And the law, a lot of people don't know the law is that when someone has stepped in the crosswalk, both sides of the street need to stop while the person goes across pedestrian. And so people just zoom through. Now the yield rate here is probably 75%. They also put little markers in the middle of the road that let people know, okay, so when someone's in the crosswalk, you need to stop at this point. And I think that's helped a lot.
Before they put the signs up, the signs have been a big, big help. But before the signs, people would come by 6 and 7 cars before one would stop. So the signs have made a big difference.
We had 5 data collectors turn in their data every week, and I processed that data. I sent it to the Center for Education and Research and Safety at the Applied Behavioral Science Lab at Western Michigan University. Like I said earlier, there were two former UF professors that went there and started that center, and they processed the data, sent it back to me and Phil Mann at the city, and we posted those signs at the entrance to Gainesville indicating what the yield rate was. So to let people know that we were making progress and the word was getting out, we were communicating we had a problem at the beginning and we're starting to move towards a solution. I think it was just a lack of understanding. I think people thought that they could outrun the pedestrian, like someone's trying to call, I'll speed up and get past them, or something like that, and it was causing a dangerous situation, and we needed to get out there, put some signs up there, no, slow down, this is a crosswalk is ahead. Children may be going to school, high school or junior college or something like that. When you're in those areas where young people are crossing the street, you need to keep an eye on your speed and be aware of the fact that someone may in fact try to cross the street at the crosswalk, and it's your responsibility to slow down, stop, and wait for them to cross.
As you can see from listening to the different parties involved in the Crosswalk Safety Program, it has been a huge success. Although it took over a year, we have gone from a very low percentage to over a 70% compliance rate. This increase in compliance was due to a high police visibility targeting drivers not yielding the right-of-way to pedestrians. In addition, public service announcements and brochures were also distributed. This program has undoubtedly reduced pedestrian injuries and more than likely has saved lives.
We hope you enjoyed our show today and would like to let you know that we can be reached at our website, www.gainesvillepd.org, for any comments or suggestions about topics you want to see aired in future episodes. Thank you for joining us this month, and we hope you will join us again in March for another episode of Police Beat.
Police Beat, brought to you by GRU. More than information on all our services can be found at gru.com or 334-3400.